but the keys have seen better days. So my intention is I'll pull the key bed out, fix, repair, replace whatever's required on the key bed, and then we'll go from there. Now, to start off, remove 3 screws at the back and slide forward the top plate, which I'll do now. You can see they're like my teeth, those keys. Right, that's the top off. Next is to remove this screw here and one at the other side, and then we can take off the roll top. Hang on a sec. Okay, that's the top off, the roll top. Now, to remove this fascia, it's supported by 2 screws here, 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 and here. So, 10 screws. Right, I'll get those off and I'll be back. Okay, you can see I've got the plinth stripped out of the way. Got a fly and a load of dust in with the price, and I can see straight away at least 2 keys are broken. Well, that's okay, because I can fix those with arrowdite, I think. And what I'll do is I will move them somewhere else. Maybe at this end, maybe at that end. Because you've got to remember, all you got is 1 octave's worth of keys, which is repeated several times. So the keys can be moved anywhere you like. The repaired keys are best out of the way where they don't get used. Okay, what I think I'll do now is there's several screws, 1, 2, 3, all along, little gold screws, and 1 near the end of my finger, and 1 at this end. So I'll pull those screws out, and that way I should be able to completely remove the key bed. Oh, before I do that, I'll have to remove these cheek screws and the other cheek screw which carries the on-off switch. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, now to remove the keys, all that's necessary is there's an arrow on either side of the key where you just insert a knife in there, right where that little arrow is. Just an ordinary butter knife, and then you can pull the key back. So I'm told. Let's have a look. Okay, first you need to move the entire key bed forward to give you enough of a gap to pull the keys back and out. Okay, as you can see, I don't know whether this will focus properly, but the end of the key is broken off in the usual spot, and I have the part. So I'll just either arrowdite them or super glue them together, and there's going to be a few of those. I can see 1, 2, I can see a couple anyway. Now there's a little spring inside, and you have to make sure that the spring is located in its pockets. Sometimes they can spring out like that, and the key will then pull out. And you don't want that, so you push and lock. So it's now locked. God, it's a shit camera, this. It's locked into a little pocket. Even plays a tune. Okay. As you can see there, I've turned some of those springs over, so they're much springier. After a number of years, they sort of lie down and give up the ghost. So pull them out, turn them over, and you get some more spring tension back. Okay, that's something else I've just figured out. Okay, as you can see, a lot of these keys, there's quite a few actually, are broken off at the end, which seems to be the common thing. What I'll do is I'm going to I'll super glue them back, although I'm not terribly keen on super glue. Yeah, I can only manage to stick my fingers together with it. But I'll super glue them and I'll bolster them with some araldite, because I've got the room, and that might just give it a little bit of reinforcement. I've got about 8 or 9 to do so far, and there's probably a few more. Okay. Right, a word to the wise, I've just found out, even though I can't get this thing to focus, this key looks good, but it isn't, it's cracked. It's got a hairline crack, and any time between now and the next 5 minutes it'll fall off. So beware of those when you're looking for, when you inspect all your keys, because you're going to find some like that. Just a hairline crack. I'll do the same thing with this. I'll put some super glue and araldite. But I must say, taking this apart, the keys are very clean. Previous owners obviously looked after this keyboard, but it's old. So what do you expect? It must be getting on 15 plus years old, but it's in very good condition. Okay, that's enough to give you yabbering for now. Okay, most of the white keys are out. I've still got a few at the other end. Many of them are either cracked or a bit broken off, always in the same place. That's fine. I can probably repair them. There's too many for me to go out and buy them. Way too expensive. And you can see where I've raised the springs. All these I've yet to do. So all you do is take it out, turn it round, shove it back in, make sure it engages. Bingo. There you go. Alright, I'll continue to do some more. What I'm hoping is I can make the key return softer and quieter. It's a bit noisy. Might just be a question of replacing that felt at the bottom. I'll look into that. Not really a big issue. But the felt presumably goes hard after a while, and that's why it starts getting noisy on the rebound. Alright, I'll look into that a bit later. When I take the key bed out, which I'm going to do now. Okay, the key bed is out, and as you can see, this is the bottom damper, and it's just about at its chips. It's not doing very much in the way of damping. So what I'm going to do is, rather than pay out about $80 for a new one, I can take this one off, and I'm going to try some of this draft sealer. Now, will it make the keys quiet? Yep. Will it last? Don't know. Don't really care. Easy enough to change when it does wear out. Now, with regard to the keys, although the keys were broken, as you can see, they always break in the same place, always on this corner, which is a bit of a weakness. It's a hard corner, and that's where it's going to snap. Now, best way to fix these, buy new ones, but failing that, super glue the piece back, and then add more super glue and sodium bicarbonate, and make a little fillet. Now, sodium bicarbonate and super glue is used in aerospace industry for fixing up chipped turbine blades. So I think it'll be alright for a piano. And in this particular piano there was more broken than weren't. I've got to count them, but there was a lot. Anyway, it's an easy fix, cost very little, and the wife just happened to have some sodium bicarbonate, so that was cool. And they're all fixed now. So once I've replaced this felt pad, it's only held on by contact cement, I'll put the action back together and we'll give it a crack. All the keys are done, so there's just this remaining job. Bit of a clean out, vacuum clean it, and just get hairs, dust, spiders, moths, dinosaurs, anything. Okay, that's okay for now. Okay, just putting the keys back in place. As you can see, quite a lot of them, the ones with the X's were the broken ones. A little bit of lithium grease on the hinge thing, and Bob's your uncle. I've replaced the bottom felt as we said, and I left the top felt because the red, black and white thing, because that looks fine. Okay, bit of grease on that end. There's quite a bit of grease inside. I'm using white lithium grease. And the end of the spring here. Okay, there's quite a bit of grease into that pocket. A bit into the end here. There is a little pocket there we can see with green greasing. That must locate in that tab right at the end of my finger. Okay, so to do that, make sure the spring locks into the end of the key. Pull the whole thing back, push down. When it locks in, it's there. And then do the same thing many times. Okay, well the piano's back together with the exception of the top lid, and it's gone together alright. Now what did I learn from this little exercise? Well, there were so many broken keys on this thing, there were over 20, and I think that reflects on the keys themselves, and these keys are used in a lot of Yamahas. Very poor design if it's going to break off. And the previous owner is a very slight lady, and I can't imagine her flogging this piano with Rachmaninoff or something and giving the keys a hard time, and yet so many were broken. I don't know, I think it's just a poor design. I mean, a week ago I didn't even know what a Clavinova was, and now I'm an expert. Well, not exactly, but they're fairly straightforward. It's very low tech mechanics on the actual keyboard itself, and as this one's turned out, it's fine. I've got a couple of keys that are a little bit slow, and I'll have a look at them. What I've done is I've ordered some proper felt for the return on the keys, and I'll pull it all apart again, put the felt in. I don't think the stuff I've put in is going to be any good, but it is quiet. That's one thing it is. Very quiet on the return, which is brilliant. Sounded awful before. Oh, and I found out the weighting too. These aren't graduated. They're weighted in approximately 25%. So the first 25% is the heaviest, then the next is slightly less, and slightly less again until you get to the very end, where they're barely weighted at all, just as they are in a similar to an acoustic piano. So that's it. I don't play, but I'm going to have to learn. And I think this will be a nice little piano for me to learn on. It's in beautiful condition, and now that I've got all the keys fixed, it's not bad. The pivot that actually breaks is, to me, it's a shocking design. That's why so many of them broke, I suppose. And when you repair them with super glue, if you don't get them exactly right, you get some interference at the pivot point. And I think that's what's happened in a couple of these. They're a little bit slow and sticky, but I'm not terribly concerned. It feels right, feels okay. So when I'm completely satisfied, I'll put the top lid back on and box it all up, and I'm going to start to learn. So I'm coming in from pretty much brand new. I did learn it one time a few years ago, but I've forgotten it all, so I'm back to a complete novice. But anyway, I hope this has given you some idea of what's required if you need to change these keys. It's not difficult, and as long as you're quite happy with a screwdriver and willing to take the chance, there's no real harm can come to a repair. Let me just pull this forward. There's nothing much you can see in there now. It's all pretty much hidden. As you can see, I squirted some lithium grease on the pivots. All pretty straightforward. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll learn something, and then I'll make another video and play it. It'll probably be bar black shape. That's about all I can manage, I think. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. Thank you, and bye for now.